Good evening, everyone. This is Rodney with the Triton Wave Market Outlook for Friday, February 8th, 2013. All right, let's begin by looking at the S&P minis. Let's stretch this out here. Now, back around the end of January, I had a target of 1504 to 1507. And since then, that is held really, really well. It had a monster day up here on February 1st, February 4th on a Monday, a monster day down on Tuesday, monster day up. And now we're just kind of sitting here basing along this 8-period exponential moving average. In the meantime, you can see these waves are starting to turn down day by day by day on the short-term T1 trading wave. All right, so that being said, let's look and see how this compares to the 21. Let's just pull up the 21 chart here. Actually, I wanted to show you the 144 because okay, the 144, this is the 144-minute chart. It's a cash, it's during the cash session on the futures. You notice this is 0.01 right here. That's 0.01, and if you move it out, and that was at 1:18 this afternoon, today, which is February 7th. Okay, if we move it out to the last hash mark, it's -12. So, you know, if you can't see what I'm talking about right there, -12. All right, that is the first time on the 144 that this has been that this entire wave is below zero since this gap up on January 2nd, which represents the entire 2013 trading, this entire group right here. So we can expect some kind of a downturn. The last time this was completely under zero, after it had been up for a long time, well, it was here, but it didn't do much. Let's find another spot here. Last time it went under zero was here. It went sideways, but that's when this was up. That's when T5 was up. But when T5 was starting to head down in this direction here, starting with right here, then, and this was going down here. This is basically when it started going down, and then it took it down for approximately 2 months. So that's what I am looking for, because T5 right now is starting to head in a slightly downward bias. So with the waves, you just have to look for changes. It's like the ebb and flow. It's like the tide goes in, the tide goes out, and that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for tide changes. But this is significant because it's at a peak, and it's been up here for a really, really long time. So we could see, if you thought that some of these days, these moves up here were big, then wait until you see moves all the way down to here in one day, and we move right through 1500 down into the 1480s, and maybe down into the top of this line here. But that's all coming. Just know that that's all coming. All right, so let's move to the 20. We saw the 144. Let's look at the 21, more of a trading vehicle here. Okay, that's really hard to trade on the 21. So let's look at 1597 tick chart, and that's very tradable. So let's put some days up here. Let me see. Today started. All right. So when we're looking on the day charts, this is like this is Thursday, Wednesday, and Tuesday. So when we're looking at these, this is the 1597 tick chart. You can, whoops, I got the wrong pen here. Okay, here's a move here, and when it starts getting, these are major moves at the beginning, at the end of the day, and this is associated with this move here, and then a downtrend right here. So these are good for about 10 points. This one's good for from 1493 up to 1510. But you can see there are smaller moves up here too. Like each one of these, and they're associated with. And now this one is starting to head down. So you can see that there are smaller moves, or you can take the bigger major ones, like on T1, 2, 3, on T4, and when it gets a little sloppy and choppy in here, then you have to go to the shorter term ones. But the whole time, this target along here was, and it's not because it's usually this way, it just happens to be this way for the last 3 or 4 trading days, that this is the 987, this orange marker here is the 987 exponential moving average. So this purple one here is the 377, the green one is the 610, and the orange one is the 987. So those are what I use. I use them. I basically let the waves dictate to me what's going on, and that's how you use them. So if we go back kind of one smaller, the T1 is a little more choppy. You actually can't read it, so that's why I go to the bigger one. Alright, so now let's go back and look at Apple, which is like my favorite stock to play and to analyze. Alright, let's look at Apple. On the left hand side here is a daily chart, and it really looked like, let me get a drawing tool here. It really looked like once it started heading down right here that it was going to continue down. But apparently at the same time, what was going on the left hand side was kind of a different tune on the right hand side. It started going down. This is a 610 tick chart, which I like to use on Apple. And then it started moving up, and it started gyrating, basically moving up to the upside. And you can see all these these moves right here. They're pretty clear when they move up and down, and they're all good for like 5, 6, 7 points on Apple. And then this longer wave here comes along and shoots this to the moon in the close of trading. So yes, there was a warning that this was going to happen, because these waves, this wave right here, I didn't know what was going to happen, but everything happens in threes. So right here, this is the first wave, second wave, and third wave, and this is a non-confirmation going across here, and this is a non-confirmation going across here. So this was a lower low, then this, and this was a higher high. So the first non-confirmation, and then you get a confirmation. Those are the best ones. Now, if you were smart enough to catch this, then it coincided with the announcement. In fact, it was probably mostly due to the announcement that and the news and the leaks that were coming out before, because this was an all-day long affair of preferred stock, issuing some preferred stock with the, I don't know, $130 billion that Apple has. So they've been playing with the stock, but the fact still remains that on the daily chart, this area right in here, this long wave, which is the longest wave I have in my arsenal, is below zero. This is all below zero right in here. So all these below zero. So any surprises? Yes, you're going to have some short covering come in here, like you did in this area for today. But when you get into this, let me show you. Right in here, right across in here, which is going to be about 480. So this may be up 12 points tomorrow. But if you can get this at, or 477, between 477 and 483, which is the bottom of this move on January 15th, and to the top of this, so that would fill the gap, number one, and would have come just up to and a little bit beyond, about 3 or 4 points beyond the 21 period exponential moving average. Now, since this is below zero, all these are below zero, then a move into this area here, right in here, would signal another move to the downside. My targets on Apple are still much, much lower, and use every opportunity that this moves up in order to take a short position. So don't be fooled by all the players out there who are trying to quote unquote handle Apple because they think it's a $700 to $1,000 stock. So just make sure when you do it that the waves are coming below zero. Or I can let you know when that's going to happen. All right, that's all I have for tonight. Just wanted to alert you, for those of you who are just joining, that I do have a concierge service that I will produce videos for you. It's called Triton Wave Consulting, and I'll leave that up for you to read. And these are the fees. I'll leave that up for you. And also that. And I have just been cited, or not cited, but highly complimented by the National Association of Day Traders, who called my Triton Waves a major new trading tool. I am available for private consultations, and I want you also to be aware that I do gold and silver videos and text messaging for buy and sell entries. And if you want to get in touch with me, just for consulting, then this is my email address. So please let me know. Have a good evening and good luck trading.